We've always wanted to think differently. Since '97, Liberty has been at the forefront of financial lending within Australia and New Zealand. We've turned over 700,000 people's dreams into reality with our out-of-the-box lending solutions for free thinkers. Hi, my name is Roger, and I'm the team leader of Web at Liberty Financial. We wanted to offer customers across Australia and New Zealand greater choice by bringing them the best solutions possible. As a leading lender with an extensive customer base, we expected a lot of traffic to come to the website. Because of this, we had to make sure that the new website could keep up with this. We were able to transform the flagship website into what it is now. But we also intend to roll out Storyblok across the rest of the Liberty Financial Group over time. With our previous CMS, our mobile website speed was 3.5 seconds. We're using static site generation together with Storyblok. We were able to get it down to 1.8 seconds on mobile. Thanks to the site speed, we were also able to increase our SEO on certain key pages. We increased our Google Lighthouse score from 55 to 90, thanks to Storyblok's image API. Together with Honest Fox, we created a functional site. We managed to decrease development time by over 50%. And on top of that, we were able to empower the internal teams using the system.
Honest Fox and Liberty's mission was to move away from a monolithic setup. And we wanted to do that because it was a really cumbersome process, all the way from coding to DevOps to security. It was a lot of work to maintain that monolith. So moving to a headless CMS really allowed us to be more adaptable, flexible, and responsive to business needs.
Together with Honest Fox, we decided on 3 requirements that the new CMS needed to handle. The first one being that we needed to improve our content deployment processes. Secondly, we needed a SaaS solution that would handle all the updates for us, basically giving precious time back to the developers. And thirdly, we wanted to create a future-proof migration process. Since our previous architectural setup was monolithic, it essentially meant that the developers and content creators coexisted in the same space. In addition, our developers spent a lot of time maintaining the old system, and this caused a lot of lost development time. We couldn't scale and grow easily before. We needed a headless CMS setup to essentially decouple the dependencies. And by using a SaaS setup, it essentially meant that we could pay someone else to keep the lights on.
We learned Storyblok because of its flexibility and a large number of extensions that we can utilize. Storyblok's visual editor has helped our content creators and marketers to make easy updates on the website and preview those updates in real time on both mobile and web. User management has been a key feature to use amongst our teams, allowing our content creators and developers to work in their own space and meet further along the line on designated pages or projects in Storyblok.
Ultimately, we knew that we wanted Liberty to be up and running completely in-house at the end of the project. We didn't want to build something that only we could manage or only they could manage. Not only were we able to get the Liberty team self-sufficient on Storyblok and the front-end setup of Vue and Nuxt, but also they now are able to onboard new team members to the platform really quickly. Something that may have taken a few days now only takes a few hours. We did also want to look at something that was very secure and stable. And so in looking at that, we were able to actually reduce our footprint of what our teams would be responsible for from a cybersecurity perspective. So by shifting that responsibility over to Storyblok, who has teams of cybersecurity specialists looking after their platform, we're able to focus on just our piece of the pie, which is much smaller and much safer and more secure. So we can focus on patching and uplifting the front end, which is going to allow us to focus our time more on improving user experience and site speed, and continue to add value where it's most important to us and Liberty's customers. So we used Storyblok's image API, which allows us to store all of these images, but then also ensure they're optimized, resized, and presented for the right browser and the right screen size. And of course, one of the benefits of the image API is that we're not only able to get the right sized image, but also that it's outputting them in WebP format, which is the most performant image format currently available on the web.
We use Management API as a preferred option for image compression and hosting. The Management API is also used for a statically generated website to help get contents from our internal systems into Storyblok. The Management API is used across the Liberty website. It brings data from Trustpilot and shows customer reviews and retrieves data for Liberty advisors on the postcode search bar.
Reflecting on the project, one of the things I like most about Storyblok is just how easily it allowed 2 new teams working with a new product to come around something and develop an awesome experience for Liberty and their customers. And really seeing the team now continue to thrive and deliver and grow that web experience on Storyblok is pretty impressive. They've, hit the nail on the head